everyone, welcome to the Standpoint. Yes, this is the second edition of our new season for the year 2017. And as you heard from me last week, this month is the Ghanaian Women's Month. The Standpoint is all about women every day, anytime, any month, any year. And we are in our 9th year. July will be 9 years of the Standpoint, listening to the feminine side and listening to the feminist side. And it's interesting I'm talking about feminism because today we will try and demystify the word feminism. Lots of young people are running away from it because they don't understand it. It's been demonized. It's been made to seem as if it's a demonic word. So as a woman, you don't have to associate yourself with the word. Well, welcome to the Standpoint. Let me say thank you to our new kids on the block. Kwa Accessories, yes, they are my accessories providers, and I'm so grateful to them for coming to support us with their beads and their typically Ghanaian accessories. Thank you to GTP, Styling the Nation. 60 years of Ghana, and they've been around, and they also have their Ghana 60 fabrics out there, so go out, purchase some of them. And this is history in the making. History. Ghana 60, you don't have to. I still have my Ghana 40 cloth, Ghana 50 cloth, and I have my Ghana 60 cloth. So you make sure you get yours as well. Thank you to Paba Cosmetics. Now I am officially a Paba ambassador, and I've been a Paba lady for over 6 years now. Day in, day out, in the studio, outside the studio, coming to work, it's always Paba. Also typically Ghanaian, produced by a Ghanaian, Felicia Sapon, Ghana Nipa, yes, Sapon, Felicia, yes, she's the one behind it. So we are promoting Ghanaian products, Ghanaian initiative, Ghanaian creativity. We are promoting all that. Thank you to Ophelia Crossland Designs. They sold the dress for me and makeup, beautifully put together by Makeup and More. We take a break. When we come back, we'll meet our guest for today, and we are talking about demystifying feminism and everything the Ghanaian woman of today has to be proud of, has to stand up and fight for, has to be bold enough. And interestingly, we just celebrated International Women's Day, and for the local theme, it was Be Bold for Change. International theme was Women in the Changing World of Work, Achieving Planet 50-50 by the year 2020. And we are just 3 years away from the year 2020. So it means accelerated work. It means hard work. It means taking the bulls by the horn. No matter how child the bull is, we'll be strong and empowered to take it. My name is Gifty Auntie. Welcome to the Standpoint. We take a break. When we come back, we delve into the matter at hand. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Remember, this year our theme is the woman as an achiever. That's the theme for the Standpoint 2017, the woman as an achiever. And let me say thank you to our sponsors. That's we have Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, Tinated Herbal, Lip Tomato Paste, NS Chemist, African Women's Development Fund, Wilma Africa Limited, manufacturers of Frytol cooking oil, and Fortune Rice, which comes in 3 different types. Now we have the Green Fortune Vietnam, which is great for soft dishes like omutu. We have the Orange Fortune KDM, which is suitable for wache, and I love my wache. And then we have the wine-colored Fortune Rice, which is from the Thai type of rice, and that is fantastic for jollof and then fried rice. Today we are talking about demystifying feminism and the Ghanaian woman of today. We just celebrated 60 years of Ghana's independence. We've talked about the role the Ghanaian woman played and the role that the Ghanaian woman still has to play in this 21st century. Ghana at 60 on with the way forward in mobilizing for development. Today we are going to look at the Ghanaian woman, what you can do, who you are, what you stand for, what you have to fight for, how you have to be a part of it. And I just have the right woman in the studio for that. My sister, my friend, my mentor, my backbone, my conscience, my teacher, my disciplinarian, Adwoa Adoma Kwateng.
Thank you. Wow. I had no idea that I was all those things.
I'm telling you, when
I'm very impressed with myself.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see
Adwoa
you.
was formerly, I'm telling you, was formerly with Action Aid. She was the country director for Action Aid Ghana, and she did amazing work with Action Aid Ghana, and that's when most of us fell in love with her. Now she's relocated a little, but we know she'll come back to come and continue here. And now she's with Forward, right?
Indeed.
And Forward, what does Forward do?
Forward stands for the Foundation for Women's Health, Research and Development.
Okay.
It's an African women's-led organization based in the UK, but we work not only in the UK, but also in Africa and in Europe.
Okay.
So at the moment, we've got projects being implemented in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and Somaliland, as part of the Africa team, of which I am the lead.
Okay.
And then we've got projects being implemented in Europe. Okay. So we've got a Men Speak Out project, which is men from FGM affected communities talking to other men to change men's attitudes towards this particular form of gender-based violence.
Doing anything in Ghana at the
moment?
We
are doing something in Ghana. We've actually submitted a concept note, which we are, fingers crossed, hoping to get. It's something that the executive director and I have been very passionate about, which is working with KIA.
Okay.
We need to do something to help these very vulnerable group of young girls, usually. But it needs to be a very holistic approach. It's not that the KIA are a menace. We need to change the way we look at them. They pay taxes.
Yeah,
they are taxpayers who are entitled to a service. But we also need to ensure that we are protecting the very young and vulnerable girls to stop them from coming to the south, which means we've got to find ways of keeping them in the north.
You've been away for
3 years. Come Monday.
Come Monday.
Yes.
Wow, 3 years. I'm glad I have you on the standpoint. I know if you were here for the past 3 years, some of the things that we could have done and some of the things that we could have heard your voice loud and clear on. But you've been home for a few weeks now. What are some of the things that you've seen that really worry you, or you think we need to stand up and do something about?
Let me first say that there have been some strides. But there's still so much that we as Ghanaian women need to do. There's so many levels we need to achieve. One of the first things that I would say is I'm happy that there are more women in parliament, but I don't think we're anywhere near.
35.
Yes, 12%. We're anywhere near the numbers we need to reach in order for the Ghanaian women's voice to be heard at decision-making level and at all policy levels. So that's my first concern. My plea to the 35 women is there are issues that affect Ghanaian women that are bigger than party politics. I would hope that despite the different parties, that the women are able to come together and caucus to make the change for Ghanaian women and girls that we need to see. Because there are issues around domestic violence which are non-party partisan. And I would hope they'd be able to come together in this new parliament to forge a new direction and a new way of working that isn't party partisan. We still have issues around harmful traditional practices. We still have issues around gender-based violence. We have issues around child marriage. We still have witches' camps. We still have, 2% female genital mutilation, but let's get to zero. I would love to get to zero. There are so many issues we need to be dealing with that I think we need to really focus, not only the politicians, but all of us as women to forge a path that we would be happy for our daughters to benefit from.
What about the involvement of women, and especially young ladies, in the gender movement?
I don't see them, Gifty. I don't know if it's because they are working slightly different from the way maybe we worked. But I would love to see more young women taking up the mantle of fighting and being openly feminist.
Right.
We talked about this. Feminism is somehow seen as a dirty word.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to call it the F word.
Word.
There's nothing wrong with feminism. Feminism means equal rights. And everybody wants equal rights and justice. So I don't know why, for a lot of Ghanaian women, we find that word frightening, offensive. Feminism doesn't mean we hate men. We love men. We gave birth to them. We marry them.
We have sons.
We have sons.
We have fathers,
We
uncles,
do. We do.
nephews.
Yes. So I would like us to be looking at the young women speaking up and demanding their rights and fighting for the rights of girls and women who don't have them.
Right.
So, for example, if you have, and it happens, girls do get pregnant in school.
Yeah.
Invariably, in most cases, these girls drop out.
Yeah.
They drop out of education, and then they get caught up in cycles of poverty. Let's look at this issue. Girls do get pregnant. It has happened since time immemorial. Because sex has been happening since time immemorial. Girls don't do it by themselves. There's always somebody else involved.
Yeah.
He goes on with his life, unperturbed, unbothered by the responsibility, and she invariably gets caught. Now we have, in theory, a school re-entry policy for girls who do have children. The reality of it is most girls don't go back to school. Because of an attitude, because of a social norm that stigmatizes her for being pregnant. Let's look at this and let's put something in place. She may be pregnant. She even has even more need to be in education so that she can look after the child that she's given birth to. There are some men who are responsible and will look after their children, but unfortunately, the stories for most of these girls is that the men aren't.
Yeah.
So she is going to have to hold that burden.
Yeah.
And in addition to which, her parents will help her hold that burden. So, but it's important for her to go back to school. So let's look at the reality and the practicalities. And let's be honest and truthful about how we respond. So she's pregnant.
Yes.
She needs to go back to her school,
Right.
because if her school is the nearest school. So let's deal with the issues in her school.
Right.
So she doesn't get stigmatized, so she doesn't get laughed at, so she's able to focus on her education
Right.
to be able to provide for her
Now,
child.
talking about the risk involved as she travels from one place to the other, Adwoa, you were the one who actually opened my eyes to this forced marriages in the northern part of our country. And then actually showed me the difference between kidnap for marriage and then abduction for
Yes.
marriage and then forced marriage.
Yeah.
It is still happening.
Yes.
Why are the politicians not speaking up against it? Why are we not enforcing laws against this? Why don't we have men and women from that part of the country fighting it?
Because when you're dealing with issues that are around social norms are actually very difficult to change because they are held not in the head. It's not an intellectual belief. It's also an emotional belief. So it takes a lot of time to change beliefs and attitudes. And when you change beliefs and attitudes, you change behavior. So we need to start challenging these issues. And if you have, particularly in Upper West, where there's this, what they call elopement, which is not really elopement, it's abduction for marriage.
Right.
Where the young men will say, we don't have the money to marry. And this is the way we have always married. We kidnap the girl and then we lock her up where I suppose it's kidnap.
Right.
And then there's, in effect, rape.
Yeah.
And then the message is sent saying, if you're looking for your daughter, she's with me. And by which time parents believe, oh, my daughter is spoiled, so I might as well let her marry her kidnapper. Now we need to deal with those issues. We need to deal with the view that somehow our value, women's value,
Right.
is held in our reproductive organs.
Right.
That is not what defines us as women. We are more than that. We are head, heart, brains, the whole package. Then we also need to look at complicity between parents and perpetrator.
Right.
Where perpetrator will send uncles and chiefs and priests and so on to come and beg. And then they say, okay, it has happened. It's okay, and that
let's
kind
keep
of
it
thing.
in the family.
Let's keep it in the family, so on and so forth. We really need to start taking these cases to court. But it's about changing people's attitudes and minds. And that takes time, and it takes people power, and it takes consistency.
Yeah. Because about changing minds, right? I quite recently moderated a program for Creative Storm, sponsored by UNDP, still on this forced marriages. And one of the chiefs interviewed actually said that sometimes the boy in the family, and that's what, got me really mad. The boy in the family needs to get married, and they need cows for him to go get married. So they have to marry the girl
to get the cows for him to marry.
For him to marry. So that is the worth of a girl. Cows.
I think that is the whole issue that we need to debate. What are we worth? What are girls worth?
Let me take a break there. When we come back, we'll look at the worth of the Ghanaian woman. You're watching The Standpoint, and I'm glad you're back. I'm glad Adwoa is here, because the issues that we need to deal with is just too much. Well, let me say thank you to Gogoti Yogurt, also authentic, originally Ghanaian, and thank you to Awake Purified Water, also made in Ghana. And one thing I love about Awake Purified mineral water is the fact that when you buy any bottle you buy, they contribute 1 Ghana Peswa to the National Cardiothoracic Fund, and which goes to help less privileged children who have heart-related problems. We say thank you to them. And thank you to Matamis for giving us the port. House of Foods, thank you so much for supporting us. And Cake Techniques, they are a Dansoman. I mean, you can't go wrong. They train young people in making of pastries and cakes and all that you need to be a caterer. So if you need them, you see their contact, being scrolled or crawled on the program. So contact them. Thank you so much to all of them. We take a break. When we come back, we look at the worth of the Ghanaian woman. Back to The Standpoint. Let me say thank you to GTP, still timeless, for my cloth. They celebrated their 50th anniversary last year, and we say congratulations to them. We say thank you to Ophelia Crossland Design for sewing this beautiful dress for me, and of course Kwa Designs for my beads. Ruby Bois, the main woman behind Kwa Designs, puts my whole outfit, my whole look together today. So thank you, Ruby. And thank you to Paba Cosmetics. I told you, now I'm officially Paba ambassador. So I am everything Paba. Anywhere you see me with makeup, it is Paba. It is Ghanaian. I'm proud of it. I've been a Paba woman for the past 6 years. Actually, over 6 years. I've been using Paba and nothing else. So they are at Osu. They are at Laboni, and then East Legon in Kumasi. You will find Paba there as well. Just look for the number on the show and then call them. Thank you to Makeup and More, Ever Faithful. They've been with us for almost 6 years, and we are grateful to them. And they do my makeup nicely. I just love it. Adwoa is even jealous.
I am very jealous.
Adwoa,
yes.
All this that I've talked about, very beautiful.
Indeed.
It makes a woman stand out and all that. But what is the worth of the Ghanaian woman?
We are worth more than solid gold. We are amazing women. We are strong. We are resilient. We are optimistic. We are faith-filled. We are amazing. But we still have a long way to go.
But it seems most of us do not believe these attributes that you have outlined about the Ghanaian woman.
we don't have a lot of time to think and recognize how amazing we are. How often do we reaffirm each other? Most of the time we are busy running, we are working, we are marketing, we are looking after our family. We define ourselves by what we do for others. We hardly ever take the time to reflect and celebrate who we are. That is why days like International Women's Day are so important for us to take time out to really think about who we are, look at the ones who have come before, identify people we can emulate, and acknowledge the positives and the strengths we have. And that's something we don't do enough. Neither do we celebrate each other enough. That's why the standpoint is so important. It's important for young girls to see women of value and substance affirming them and their struggles.
And why is it so difficult for us to get rid of this mentality of women are their own enemies? And so, therefore, a woman is afraid to stand up for another woman. You see, and social media these days, I just can't stand it. People just will put a woman on board and actually insult her, denigrate her, stigmatize her. If it's her dress that you don't like, they don't just go to the dress, but oh, she's just because she wants attention. She wants, and one of Lydia Forson is my little sister, so I can talk about it. Lydia Forson,
beautiful woman.
she speaks up against something recently, and then somebody should get Lydia Forson pregnant to shut her up.
Unfortunately, there's that sort of perception that if you are strong, because you don't fit in the box. I think there's a view, a stereotypical view of what a good Ghanaian woman should be. And it is not to be too strong, not to be too outspoken, not to be too known, using your words. And there must be a particular way you must be. If you step out of that way, you must be brought back into line. These are again about the social norms of what a woman, a Ghanaian woman is. And we need to celebrate our full diversity of womanness.
Yeah.
Now, it is not unique to Ghana, I have to say, because of our projects in other countries that Forward is doing. It is amazing how similar this oppression of women is. Because of what Forward works on, we find the same problems in Sierra Leone, in Tanzania, in Ethiopia, in Kenya, Uganda, Somalia. And it's a perception and a view of women as less than. And I think it's something that we have to challenge, that the young women coming up, the young feminists, have to claim that space.
Yeah.
You are worth more than you believe you are. We need to find a new way of relationships where girls and young women are not subordinate to boys and young men. Because the days of being subordinate no longer work. In our parents' days, okay, our fathers worked, our mothers stayed at home. Now everybody has to work in order for the family to survive. So the relationships between men and women have to change. They have to become more equal. And that has to be negotiated between the couple. Right. And I would hope that the young women coming up today have moved on. I remember the last time I was on, we were talking about girls in universities cooking for boyfriends as if they were wives. And our position, I remember at that time, is you've been sent to school to learn. You are not there to be looking after somebody's son so that you don't do well and he progresses.
Apparently, the idea is that there aren't many men out there who are free. So once you're at school, you have to grab and hold on so that after school you can marry. Otherwise, if you let him go, you leave school, you won't get some.
And Gifty, what is wrong in being an independent single woman? It is not everybody's destiny to be married. Some will be married, some will be divorced, some will be widowed. So it's not the destiny of every single Ghanaian woman to be
Some
married.
will be married and beaten up and killed.
There you go. So it's about, this is what I'm saying, about finding your strengths, your positives, your bliss, and working towards that bliss. Should marriage come your way, then that is a blessing, an additional blessing. But look to yourself, as it were. Don't look to a man to complete you. Complete yourself. If he comes to add value, much better. If he doesn't, move on. You make the contribution to Ghana that you want to make. You make that change. You change somebody's life. You create a business. You open an orphanage. You look after, you can do so much as an independent single woman.
Well, again, let me say thank you to our sponsors, Tinatet Herbal. They produce Tinatet, Venacare, Tomacare, and most of the herbal-based medicines that, have been approved by all the necessary authorities. Let me also say thank you to Leap Tomato Paste, also produced in Ghana. Thank you so much to them. African Women's Development Fund, and our new sponsors, Wilma Africa Limited. They produce Fritol and then Fortune Rice. The Fortune Rice, there are 3 types. The one for Mutu, that's the Fortune green rice. And then the orange rice is for Wache. And then the wine-colored Fortune rice, that's the Thai one, is for fried rice and then jollof rice. Don't forget, it's very, very important. And thank you to our Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator experts. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. We are also sponsored by NS Chemist, producers of Auntie Mary's Gripe Baby Mixture and Nescafe Blood Tonic. Thank you to Gogot Yogurt, Awake Purified Mineral Water, House of Foods, Cake Techniques. Thank you so much to them. Matamis gives us the port, and we say thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, who make sure our environment is clean. Well, I'm glad to announce that we have a group in the studio. They are members of the Federation of Universities Senior Staff Association of Ghana, University of Ghana Chapter Women's Committee. Welcome to The Standpoint. FUSAC for sure. And for short, yes, yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Ghana 60. Ghana is 60 years. Yes. Be bold for change.
Yes.
What kind of change are we looking for?
Young women's leadership.
Okay.
That is a passion for forward and for myself. Because we need the young women to take leadership. But leadership isn't something that just emerges. They have to be trained. You have to give young women not only the knowledge, but also the skills. And that is something that Forward is implementing in all the countries in which we are working.
And what can we do in Ghana?
It's part of our KIA project proposal, because it's something that we recognize that the girls who are working as KIA need. Those who want to go back to school need to be helped to return to school and to stay in school. And to complete, and not to be seduced by teachers. I was listening to the radio and I heard something about teenage pregnancy in the central region. And the fact that the bulk of the perpetrators
are teachers.
Now, for us as activists, for me when I was in Action Aid, this was a real issue. How are girls going to be kept safe in schools? So we actually had a project called Stop Violence Against Girls in Schools. And we need to replicate that project. So it's not only about leadership, it's also about talking to those in power who have power over the girls. It's also about talking to the teachers, NAGRATs and all the teacher unions about what do you do when one of your members basically commits this
It's a
crime
crime.
because it's a crime.
Right.
We can't pretend it's not.
Right.
It is a crime.
It just kills me how a teacher can actually sexually abuse a young girl or impregnate her, and then the only punishment will be to be transferred.
We need to look at the teacher's code of conduct, because as ActionAid, when we were working with the teacher's code of conduct, there were significant gaps. That was one of the gaps. Because if teachers aren't even aware of their code of conduct, which they should be though, I mean, to be honest, it's a crime. But we need to put as many checks and balances in place so that we can protect these girls, so that they are able to put their minds on studying and achieving. We need to ensure that we are not only inspiring them to aspire, but we are actually helping them to achieve. So we need to look at some of those issues.
And how do we get our women to be bold? I say that apart from Hawa Yakubu, the late Madame Hawa Yakubu, I haven't seen any female politician, like her, who Hawa Yakubu could stand against her own government and speak her mind and get away with it. If in Parliament, a policy will be brought in Parliament from her government, and she will stand against it and speak against it, and you can take your post. This is what I believe in. We need women to be bold like that, not fearing what people will say about them, not fearing the consequences, but knowing why they are doing what they are doing or saying what they are saying.
This is why I said at the beginning that the 35 women who have come in need to recognize that there are issues that are beyond party politics, and they should be able to work together on those issues. So, for example, I would hope and pray that we would get the 35 united talking about violence against women and girls. We'll get those 35 united, committed to ending child marriage. We'll get those 35 united and committed to ensuring that girls are not having to have sex for grades. But, there are certain non-negotiables, I would call them, that I would hope that the 35 women parliamentarians would be able to come together in a caucus which is above party politics. And that is where we will see change. So that it's not just one Hawa Yakubu. It's 35 Hawa Yakubus
in there.
And with 35...
united for a purpose, for women to push the gender agenda.
Indeed. And let's, us as women, hold them accountable. It's not about whether they are dressing, we don't like their cloth, or they are, there was, I remember, the women are dressing away and whatever. It's not only about physical beauty, it's also about emotional intelligence, it's about, it's the whole package. So let's, us as women, support the 35 in as many ways as we can.
Adwoa, in conclusion,
we have a long way to go. We've started on the path. We will get there once we know where we are going. So we need to ensure that we as Ghanaian women are very clear. That was one of the things about the Women's Manifesto that I liked. We were very clear about what we wanted from the politicians. I think we need to reprise that again, see exactly what we want from, I think we should call them the 35. Give them a nice...
the 35.
The 35.
That's a nice name, yes.
And see how we can support them to achieve what they want to achieve. Let's look at what their objectives are. Let's look at their timelines, and let's hold them to that. And let's hold ourselves accountable to each other. It's sisterhood. This is sisterhood. We are sisters of the 35. They are our sisters. We help, they help. And every single Ghanaian woman and Ghanaian child benefits.
Thank you very much. Yes, you can applaud. With Adwoa, you can never go wrong. I take a break. When we come back, I give you a bit of me. Like normal human beings, we all need to be encouraged, motivated, pushed, given a little push every now and then. This is not about telling women to be rebels, to rise up in arms and fight. No. This is reminding us of who we are, what we are, our worth, what we can do to help ourselves, our family, our community, our society, our country. Feminism is all about believing in women and fighting for equal rights. Take the dictionary. It tells you feminism even has nothing to do with a woman or a man. It's about believing in the right, the social, political, and legal rights of women to equal that of men. That is not too much to ask for. That is not evil. That is not a dirty word. There's a lot we can achieve if we come together and support each other as women. No one has it easy worldwide, but there's a lot we can do. There is something about the African woman. There's something about the Ghanaian woman that we are losing. We need to go back and take it. We have the histories and the stories of the Yasantuas who did great things. Let us not forget who we are, where we are coming from. And I plead with the teachers, especially female teachers. Don't look on whilst the young girls are being abused. Come together as a group, even if you stand out as one person and fight for these girls. You can lift your head up wherever you go to. Let's all be part of this fight. We have a long way to go. We have wasted too much time. We don't have much time. Thanks for watching. As always, my name is Gifty Auntie. See you same time next week. Bye for now.